and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Boy, have we got a lineup for you today. Honestly, I have been absolutely thoroughly enjoying the last, 3 or 4 weeks on PulseChain. You can just see everything is turning for the bull market ahead of us. It is so fantastic. I've got a mega lineup today of stuff, and it's really, as you know, covering a lot of PulseChain stuff as a streamer. It really makes it a job easier when you've got so many bullish things to talk about. And boy, oh boy, it is a lot of fun ahead. We're going to be talking about some pretty cool projects on PulseChain. Obviously, Minimeal, the big corporate, as I've got it in the title there, potentially the first $1 trillion company / token / project, whatever you want to say, on PulseChain. That is a mega news, and we're going to talk about that and some of the moon math behind that. And it's no joke. It's no joke. So this is a big food giant, which has really got the holy grail of food. Health food in Europe, which is going global, and has chosen PulseChain as its store of value, essentially, with the soul token, the soil token, I should say. I keep saying soul, but it's got a little soul as well. The soil token there, and it's pretty amazing. So we're going to talk about that coming up. We're obviously going to be talking about our sponsor today on the show, which is going to be, of course, Hyperion from Vox, and that's going to be huge. So we're going to talk about that too. So check out that. We're also going to be talking about Heart with Dog. Yeah, again from yesterday, following up this time with the website. Yesterday we didn't look at the website. Today we're going to look at the website as well as a quick look at series 1 to 9 for Heart with Dog. So big shout out to the hog there. And we're going to talk a bit about their anime, pretty much chapter 10 there with Conor McGregor. Which I think is pretty huge. So we've got a really good lineup and much more. So we're going to get into obviously the stock market, the crypto market, and PulseChain markets. And of course, get into some of those special mentions. The other thing we're going to mention is the monster thread, of course, which comes out of the Kryptonite Show. We've got our promotional lead, MVS, Crypt MVS, a rising star on PulseChain. And of course, he's our promotional lead and the author with the monster thread, and it's had some big pickups there, by some big people in the community like Somi and of course SJ. So we're going to talk about all that as well. So yeah, what a lineup! I mean, it is a big lineup there as well. Now let's get into it. We've got a few people in the chat. We've got Free Yes in the house there. Vox Hype Farms are lit, says Free Yes. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a sponsor today, good old Hyperion there on Hyperion there on Vox. And we got Kryptonite as well. Long time no see. WAGMI PulseChain is awesome. Yeah, I think we're all going to win together. Is that the one? Yeah, we are going to win together, that's for sure. And hey, look, we're going to be streaming it too while we do it. We're going to be winning, and I'm going to stream it while we do it. How about that? Hexagrader's in the house there. Woohoo! Let's go. Don't forget to hit the likes and share the stream. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Hexagrader. In fact, let's go to on X and make sure that we're restreaming here. I'm going to get you guys to post it on X. If you're on there, definitely give it a repost. I really appreciate that. This mega story today, of course, around Sun Minimeal and a soil token. So definitely get out there and repost. Let's put that in there. Repost show on X, and that really helps a lot with the algorithm. So appreciate that. So bam, tell your friends. That's all we can say. And man, they are joining crypto at the right time, and they're joining PulseChain at the right time. So timing is fundamental, right? So yeah, you are doing your friends and family a great service getting them onto PulseChain right now. Fantastic. Do your own due diligence, of course. Not financial advice, but we're ready to rumble, aren't we, for the old bull market? All right, let's see who else has jumped in the chat. We've got one of our favorite characters in the chat there, Wookie. It's time for Wookie to turn around. Absolutely, and I actually know what that means, so that's kind of good. We got DeFi Prince in the house there, LFG. Big shout out to DeFi Prince out there, doing great job with DeFi and stuff on Telegram. So definitely don't forget to check out DeFi Prince on Telegram and on X, and give them a follow. They do some pretty cool AMAs. So ask me anything. So get in there. A lot of projects going through that. So big shout there. And look, we may end up having some good chats and collabs with DeFi Prince as well. So big shout out for everything you do. Really appreciate that from the Kryptonite Show team. All right, we've got Brian, our one of two community leaders, along with Wookie. Sup, folks? Good to see Brian in the house. He was on a road trip. Now he's settled down and he's having a good time. When I was going to make a little story about that, Brian, but I thought I'd better stop there. We got Hedgehog in the house as well. Woo! Good to see Hedgehog. Big shout out to you as well. And what else there? Let's see here. We got Wookie says he likes some Soul Train music, some Soul Train music. Yeah. I like what you did there. LFG says Brian, absolutely. And we got Brendan in the house as well, one of our community moderators. I have no clue what Wookie said. And hey, look, most people in the known civilized world do not know. But then he is a alien from another galaxy. That's probably the problem there. All right, shall we get into it? Shall we get into the show and check out some of the cool things? So let's go with that. And of course, here's Infinite Me there on the channel. And of course, we're talking about food giant Sun Minimeal, first potential $1 trillion token on PulseChain. And I'm not kidding about that. And you're going to wonder, how do we get that sort of capital to push that token up into that value? And we're going to talk about that today. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now, the other thing I've got coming up later on today, which I forgot to mention. No, I didn't. It's the Love.io. We got Anders coming in there, the CEO. Now, Love.io is one of the big teams, big protocols on PulseChain as well. So we're doing some heavyweight coverage today. And there's like a bunch of superstars. So that's coming up at 7 o'clock. So that is only 7 hours from now. So you do not want to miss that. And that is Love.io. In fact, I'm going to post a copy to that link as well if you guys want to make sure you watch it later on tonight if you're awake, of course. So Love.io interview today. And that is the link there to that. So don't miss out on that one as well. So that is coming up later today with the big team, Love.io. So yeah, we're absolutely crushing with some big interviews lately. And of course, getting to learn more about PulseChain, right? That's the ultimate goal, learning more about PulseChain and the people of PulseChain. How about that? I might do a video title of that, the people of PulseChain. I think I like that. I'm having too much fun today. I don't know this. We got Quantum in the house there. You also earn PulseX. And of course, we got Quantum Gateway says on Vox. That's true. We're going to check all that out. That is our sponsor today, by the way, is good old Vox and, of course, Hyperion. So let's get into that. I think that was the main coverage I wanted to do there. Yeah, we're going to get into Heart with Dog very soon later in the show, so stay tuned for that. All right, so our sponsor today is Vox Farm with Hyperion Protocol. This has just come out, I think, the last day or two. So very excited for this. So big shout out to the Vox team. And, of course, this is a pretty awesome project, Hyperion Protocol. If you want to earn high yields, this is kind of the farm for you, right? And it's got how it works here as well. So Hyperion pretty much means watcher from on high, which is a pretty good name. Another name is He Who Strides Above. So pretty cool name to name this protocol, this farm here where you can earn high yields. Now, the thing I like about this for our day's sponsor today is that they actually explain how it works. So how it works with the buy and sell fees. Burn 1% of Hype tokens. So Hype is the main token that you want for Hyperion. And of course, burn 1% of the Hype token. And of course, it gets sent to the little 369 burn address from the looks of it. And we've got the yield 4.5% Hype tokens sent to the contract as well. So it's pretty cool. So it's got the old tax there. Now, we also got transfers, no fees on token transfers. So don't worry about that. You can transfer it between wallets just on the buy and sells. Now, the yield mechanics, yield fees are periodically swapped for PulseX via PulseX V2. So there's a V2 pool with the following allocation: liquid enhancement, 5% of the yield; Vox burn, 5% used to buy and burn Vox tokens. So it's helping the parent token Vox for Vox Farm. And of course, PulseX burn, 5.555%. I like what they did there. Of course, that's our favorite number for max X mining. And so that is 5.555% of PulseX is sent to the burn address there too. Distribution, 80% of PulseX distributed to Hype holders, which is pretty good, and LP providers. So probably something to check out, the old Hype token there for Hyperion. Liquidity providers for Pulse, Hype up to 4x shares on rewards. So if you do provide liquidity, potentially up to 4x there, pretty amazing as well. All right, and it looks like we've got the farms up at the moment. So let's quickly check these out. Remember, they're on V2 farms. This is our sponsor today, Hyperion from Vox, just a new farm, just product that just released by Vox Farm. And, of course, that's been one of the most popular farms in recent times. Now, we've got some pretty cool yields here. We've got Pulse and Hype. This is in a V2 pool. So you actually have to go to PulseX and provide the liquidity, right? You get some LP tokens, and then you can come put them in these farms. That's pretty much how farming works. And of course, here all you have to do is get the token. If you've got LP tokens for providing liquidity for Pulse and Hype in that V2 pool, you can put your tokens will show up here, and then you can approve them and stake them. Right, you approve them and stake them, 2 little transactions, and then you'll start earning some sweet APR here, and that will be Hype tokens, and you'll be earning 15,450% APR there. Now that would have started way higher. Obviously, as more people go into the pool, the APRs come down, but 15,500% APR, pretty outstanding, as you guys can imagine. Currently, there's about $18,800 in that particular pool. Now, there are other pools as well. There's the PulseX Hype pool. There's 15,000% APR on that at the moment as well, so super high. And of course, that's what people are chasing down. And then, of course, we've got Hype DAI as well, 15%, 5,000%, I should say, on that too. On the Hype DAI, so if you want a Hype DAI in there, just remember when you do stable coins, you've got more impermanent loss potentially in your favor against you, depending on where the price of Hype goes. So just take that into account with stablecoin, peers. The other ones we got, they're all pretty high actually. 14,500% on Inc. Hype. All the rich altcoins doing pretty well on the APRs. And then we got Pulse DAI. So if you want to have, potentially less impermanent loss, obviously if Pulse races away, got a bit of permanent loss there, but it's got 2,240% APR in that one. And then you got PulseX Pulse as well, 920% APR. And then you've got an Inc Pulse X there as well, 728% there. So that's pretty cool. That's the chart of Hype at the moment. It's sitting at $2.62 on the old chart. Let's go to the daily. It's only been around for a little bit there. Let's go to the hourly chart, shall we? It's only been around for 2 days and 2 hours. That is the chart. So obviously, a lot of crypto projects have a big one in the price at the beginning, and then it sort of settled down here. It seems at around $2.62 at the moment. So that is kind of cool. Much better entry for a lot of people to get in and perhaps potentially start earning some high APRs. So that's our sponsor today from Hyperion. We're going to check it out later on in the show again. But that is it there. And of course, we'll post the link to that as well if you want to check it out. That is our day's sponsor today. So let's put that on there. All right. Bam. Let's jump down through that. And that is the link to the farm there. So check it all out. All right. Let's go. Wow. We've been talking about this monster thread that we've been doing, right? And Quantum says Vox is a beast. That's before we get onto there. And of course, hype up the wiki. I like that one there, wiki. Nice one. All right, so we've got the monster thread. As you guys know, the Kryptonite Show has been expanding its content covering PulseChain. Obviously, we're on YouTube. We've moved into doing promotions to help small, medium, and large teams get their awesome project out to the people. And of course, we do have minimum requirements for that, like contract verifications and things like that. But man, it has been going absolutely amazing. And we've had such terrific feedback on all of it. So it's really going awesome. If you are a small, medium, a large team, you want to get promotional coverage. We're the only professional services, as I understand it, on PulseChain out of any of the crews that are actually doing it. And of course, we've been around for 6 years, so people know who we are, and the feedback's been tremendous. So if you want to do that, if you're a team and you want to get promotional support, then hit us up. MVS, of course, is our promotional lead. And, of course, here he is with the Monster Thread number 2. And it's been getting some pretty amazing feedback, right? So the first week, there was 16,300 views on it, a massive, massive reach with multiple influencers and community personalities, pretty much raving about it. So it's doing very well there. And, of course, it's got all the best stories from the last week, as well as some really key rising star projects as well. So you definitely hit up MVS or myself. You can find us in the Telegram or in Discord to hit us up there if you want to get involved. Now, obviously, we do professional promotions work. So we have a little rate sheet for that, depending on what you want to do. So you can hit us up about that as well. Now, SJ Wild, of course, a big personality out in PulseChain, says lots of great info in here. Sure to reach out to MVS Crypto if you have something noteworthy you'd like to add to the list next week. Obviously, we go back and have a look at the biggest stories that are inflecting PulseChain, and of course, they're getting better and better and better. I mean, even from week 1 to week 2. Next week, of course, coming up Sunday / Monday, we're going to have a week number 3 for the Monster Thread, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So very exciting stuff happening here, and thanks to SJ Wild for the great shout out there. So it's pretty cool. Another big shout out the Monster Thread got was from your friend Somi, one of the biggest influencers in the PulseChain space. And of course, he said, did a whole video on it. That's how much he really enjoyed it. And so a big shout out that and appreciation of all the work from the MVS and of course the Kryptonite Show team is pretty awesome. So yeah, big shout out the explosive PulseChain news updates and coverage. So a full video there from Somi. So you can see that on Somi's YouTube channel. You can go check that out. But there we are. That is from MVS Crypt. And like I say, if you want to hit up about any more promotional work, here's our promotional lead. So I'll put that in the chat there as well. And you can hit us up if you need some promotional support for your project, small, medium, or large. We're there to help everybody as long as you meet minimum requirements, really, and that the project's looking pretty good. All right, so that is it there. So check it out. As MVS, big shout out to him. Congratulations on all the work he's done as well. All right, where are we going? We're going to the stock market. Let's get into it. Well, the stock market today, well, it ended the 6-day run. So it had a big run last week, as you guys know. And the S&P 500 has snapped that as the tech rally has faded a little bit. But look, we know there's lots of big news coming up for the markets because we have all the trade deals being done, right? And there's 115 countries plus most of the top 15 countries have come out. We've only had really in principle deal with China, which was the big elephant in the room to solve. And then we've had the UK free trade deal, which is, after 25 years, pretty glorious. But there's lots of big trade deals to come. India, Japan, South Korea, many others, right, is coming down the line. And this is going to fuel the news. The other big thing, of course, is we've got the big tax bill, but we're going to talk about that in a second. And let's see where the markets were. So Dow Jones down 0.25%, 114 points to 42,677. S&P 500 down 0.4%, 23 points to 5,940. And the NASDAQ with all the tech companies is 0.4%, 73 points down to 19,142. The US dollar there has gone below 100 on the index. Remember, the US dollar index is really the US dollar versus its trading partners. And it is gone below 100 again. And of course, it's at 99.8 at the moment. So that's a devaluation of the US dollar. And therefore, exports get better. US exports do better, but the purchasing power of the US consumer goes down, right, because of the weaker dollar. So that's pretty interesting there. Now, the commodities at the moment, West Texas, $63, up 1.7%. And Brent oil, $66 as well, up 1%. Now, you guys know the US loves driving, right? They love driving. They have beautiful big cars. And of course, Trump has delivered to them. The US consumer should be thanking Trump big time because the US oil prices are down like $20 or so. It is pretty amazing. And if we look at the chart there on the 6 months, you can see we were all the way up here in 16th of January, just before Trump took office on the 20th of January. And oil prices was $77.50. And now they're down at like $63. So over $20, like $24. This is a dream come true, honestly. And of course, that means if you're driving in the US, it's going to be a lot cheaper at the pump, generally speaking. So that's kind of cool. Now, US dollar has come down, of course, because US dollar rallied to 108, has come down to 99. But man, that is a really big win there. And the US dollar is likely to fluctuate there depending on what's coming out. I think with all the trade deals, it's likely to reappreciate, right? And so therefore, by the time we get into that summer period, oil prices at the pump should be a lot cheaper as well. So it's kind of cool. Now, the other big thing, of course, is gold is appreciating. I'm expecting gold to run along with crypto. It is at $3,300. So pretty exciting where gold's going to be going as well. Silver at $33.30 is also up as well, just under 0.5% for both of those. So that is where we are with the markets. So yeah, we would expect that to run. The other thing, of course, Trump has to have a strategy in place by the 4th of July. And therefore, if he has that in place, then we're looking at the golden age of America. And of course, we're going to look at it anyway because we've got so many fundamentals, but it's going to be absolutely amazing. And then, of course, we would expect fundamentals to run, and therefore, and also money printing. We're expecting a lot more money printing, and therefore, all the commodities should run like crypto, gold, silver, and everything else, right? So it's going to be pretty cool. And hopefully we have cheap oil prices and cheap interest rates, right? Inflation's been relatively low. Supply's been expanding. And, that means that we should hopefully get interest rate cuts in altcoin season, right? That's kind of where we're heading here with the vision. Now, we did see some big news around the tax bill. As you guys know, one of Trump's big strategies is the big fat tax bill there. And, of course, he's been getting a little bit of GOP refinement, and that's what's holding it up. But it has managed to push through on Sunday through to the next phase, right? So there was the Freedom Caucus holding out a bit. They wanted to make sure that Medicaid was that people would have to go to work earlier than later. as opposed to free riding is kind of what they're trying to avoid there. Well, we got tax bill in focus after House committee approval. A special committee in the House Representatives approved a sweeping tax cut bill on Sunday. So good news. That's the big fat tax bill there. And of course, potentially setting up for a vote this week. The bill is backed by Trump and proposes a host of income tax cuts as well as more spending on defense and immigration. Now, what did we see today? We saw Trump go to the Capitol, I think it was, to the Hill, and of course, just encouraged them to get it through the big tax bill through there. And of course, also we saw big announcements on defense today around the star, what they call it, the star system. I'm just trying to remember what they call it now. The Protect America from Space. What's it called? The old. Oh man, I can't believe I've forgotten it. Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars, I think it was. Yeah, back in the 80s, right? And so that is in place, and it looks like going to spend about $150 billion or something on it, with about $25 billion up front. So, welcome to the future, guys. It's going to be crazy. Honestly, the next 3 to 5 years is going to be insane. We're going to see that real, like Star Trekky type of thing come to life in the world. Now, it's not going to be everywhere straight away, but it's definitely going to be in certain places. In America, I think it's going to be a big benefit, along with Asia. I think Asia and America will probably see a lot of these robots and AI robots. And what else? Probably more spaceship stuff. It's going to be pretty crazy, guys. It's going to be pretty crazy. And of course, a lot more automation, right? Automation is probably another big area. The bill is backed by Trump, proposes a lot host tax cuts, but critics of the bill have argued that it could increase the U.S. fiscal deficit and undermine federal revenue. Well, that's true. In the short term, that is potentially true, but in the longer term, it's going to stimulate economic growth, right? And therefore increase the federal revenue. That's the whole plan, right? A little bit of potential short-term hit for massive upside, right? That is the key. Otherwise, I think the tax is going to go up about 60% or something like that on Americans, which is the opposite. That's heading back to socialism, right? And then you know what happens to socialism? It collapses everything, right? You get poor really quick. You just ask some of the countries out there. Now, the only socialist country I think is it Netherlands or something like that. It's the only one that does okay. It's only because they got big fat bunch of oil or gas or something was it. So it's that's what the only reason why that's still going, and they're highly educated, but it's all because of the oil, right? Pretty crazy. But critics of the bill have argued that it could increase the U.S. fiscal deficit. So we'll see. Obviously, we're thinking it's going to give us economic growth 3 to 4% and boom the U.S. economy, and that's where it's going to head there. The bill has been opposed by moderates and less hardline Republicans. Well, not exactly opposed to some degree, but really they're wanting refinements and tweaking around with like Medicaid and other things like that. So I think they're going to get it over the line. I'm feeling pretty positive. On Monday, monetary policy, Fed speaks continued to signal a prolonged pause in rates, and this is kind of ludicrous, right? So let's see. Hopefully, this we do get that rate cut earlier than later as well. All right, so we're going to see. One of the presidents said monetary policies are currently well positioned and downplayed the inflation impact of tariffs as a temporary boost. Yeah, so I think we're going to hopefully get an interest rate pivot there, because if we've got oil prices coming down, we need that impacts the real economy, right? Because oil's in like 90% of products, but we also want to get interest rates down because that impacts all the financial markets, right? And so that's huge. That's what we want to get that low to. And then you got a booming economy. The whole economy is just going boom, boom, boom. And of course, Trump's raised like $12 trillion plus already in like 4 months. So it's just game on. So that's kind of the backdrop to everything, and that's why we're so bullish about this bull market coming up, a super cycle bull market in my view. And yeah, it's going to be absolutely truly epic. And the other thing, we got all the players sitting on the sidelines, right, ready to get on the field. Everyone. We didn't have that in previous bull markets, not in 2021. Now we've got ETFs, and we've got more ETFs coming. We've got every single type of institution potentially can access Bitcoin and crypto. A lot of them are changing their risk profile policies for the corporates. We've got the big sovereign funds, everybody, all the US states, sovereign states, institutions that are all able to access the markets. And it's just a matter of them changing even more, increasing adoption. They change their policies about investing in crypto, as BlackRock said, the digital gold, right? Digital gold. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Obviously, a lot of trade deals coming through. That's going to be huge for us going through May, June. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Now, remember, the tax bill, really what they want to get done by the 26th of May. So that's not far away. And then these trade deals keep running through May, June. And then we get to the 4th of July. That's when all the strategies in place, right? The World Trade Order has been restructured since Bretton Woods in 1944. And, of course, since the 80s, right, with Reagan, and so therefore we're really moving forward with the World Trade Organization, and of course that deals with the budget, the trade deficit of $1.2 trillion. Then we've obviously got regulation and deregulation and leverage with small medium banks. That will be an ongoing process. And then of course we've got the big tax bill, and of course Doge cutting costs out, right, which is probably around 160 billion, but probably will end up close to $500 billion is my guess by the time it's all said and done. They've got a lot of court cases, right, to make sure they can cut a lot more costs out there. And so what do we see the big pivot in that strategy, right? With the tax bill as well, we see a shrinking of the government and a shift over to the private sector. This is the fundamental shift we're seeing in America, and therefore entrepreneurial capitalistic boom, right? That is what we're going to be seeing. So that is super huge, and hence we've got the golden age of America. It's going to be beautiful. And what are you going to see from visually? You're going to see a lot of buildings being made, spaceships. The series is what we're going to landing on Mars. Robots landing on Mars, humanoids. This is some of the imagery we're going to get over the next few years. It's going to be truly outstanding. Cars, manufacturing, prosperity, jobs. I mean, it's going to be truly glorious, guys. It's going to be a bit weird too, because we're going to see like AI robots running around. That's going to be a bit weird. And of course, there's going to be a lot of ethical issues around that. It's not, that's the one thing I will say. The ethics, humans can do some pretty crazy stuff, especially when they've got no ethics, like in China when they do some of the experiments in China. We don't even want to talk about, but it's just part of what happens. Anyway, so that's kind of where we are with the old stocks there. So obviously, we're going to look for more trade deals coming. Like I say, Japan potentially is going to be setting to take place later this week. So obviously we might get a Japan deal next week. Maybe over the weekend we'll get an announcement about in-principle deal done there, and so forth. So we are looking a lot more stuff coming out and trade deals. That really is going to pump the market along with the tax bill by the 26th of May. So get excited, man. Get excited. All right, that leads us into crypto. But before we do that, let's get into some of the comments here. And coming up, of course, we're going to be talking about Heart with Dog. We're going to check out the website with the top anime. And of course, chapter 10 there with the Conor McGregor fight with versus Hogg was fantastic, really, really good. And we're going to hear more about that. The other big thing, of course, is our sponsor today is Vox and Hyperion. We're going to be talking about that again later on as well. And of course, the big story today is Sun Minimeal, potentially the first $1 trillion token on PulseChain in the years ahead. So we're going to talk about that too and see how that might actually play out. We got Tindo in house there. A Treasury yields both EX and PX just for holding on Pulse. Yeah, Treasury is pretty popular protocol, that's for sure, Tindo. That is free alpha right there. Free alpha, nice. Crypto MBS house there, our promotional lead in the Kryptonite Show team. Hyperion Farms and Radon for the win. There we go. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. We got Brennan as well. We're going to see RH projects land on Mars. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. That's something that Richard might actually do or someone related to. All right, so that's kind of cool. Now, we know Bitcoin is going to the moon, right, with the old, what's it, BRC20s, I think, was that, Brennan? I think that's right. You just remind me, but I think that's the case. We should actually go, we should go flashback and have a look at that markets on the old Bitcoin because it's been a little while. So we'll go check that out, see how they're performing. All right, so here we are on a crypto. Let's go to it and have a look at the markets overall. And so here we are with crypto at 3.47 trillion. Down 1.1%. And like I say, it's still a small market in the world. We've got, gold probably a 9 to 10x to get to the gold market cap. So our re-rating is going to be fierce. Once the re-rating begins, it's going to be fierce, guys. Absolutely fierce. It's going to blow minds. Like we've been struggling to get over 100K, but then suddenly it's just going to, like the dam's going to break and money's going to flood. And of course, scarcity is going to flow. And if that makes sense. And we're going to be absolutely pumping pretty aggressively. People are going to go, what? How did that happen? So maybe we move up and down under 100 grand. Maybe a big day is moving like 10 mil. What was I going to say? $10,000 on Bitcoin. But once we get over 100 and we stay over there, then you may be probably getting $20,000 days. Even the $30,000 days probably going to start happening, right? It's just crazy numbers. That's going to be pretty insane. And let's see here. We got the markets here. We got Bitcoin at 106,462, holding real nice, right? Up 0.8% at the moment. Ethereum there is up down 0.4% at 2,500. And that's what we get. It's probably going to get a massive re-rate in Ethereum too, moving ahead. So I wouldn't worry too much about the magic carpet with money. at the moment. We're going to be talking about that today as well. There's a big breaking news around the PulseChain Strategic Reserve. We're talking about that. XRP at number 4 is down 1.3% at $2.35. BNB at number 5 is flat today at $649. Let's say $650. Solana at number 6 is up 0.3% at $167. At number 8 is Dogecoin. It is up 0.2% at 22.5 cents. Cardano or ADA is there at number 9. That is pretty much up 0.3% as well, 74 cents. And finally, number 10 is good old Tron is up almost 1% at 27 cents there. That is our top 10. Now, in terms of the last week, the best performer has clearly been Bitcoin, up 2% over the last week. And next is, everything else has been either down or flat, I guess. We got XRP down 8.8%, Solana down 8.4%, and Cardano there down 10%. Those are kind of been the worst performance. So it's been, not so hot the last 7 days, but Bitcoin's still showing its strength. So altcoin's got to be coming at some stage there in the future. Dark Horse Official says that Vox Hyperion Farms has made up 2 months of red candles in 2 days. There we go. There's some alpha there from Dark Horse Official. Dropping there on our sponsor today, Hyperion Farms. Brennan says BSC20 inscriptions haven't checked them in a while. I wonder if the Bitcoin blog of land tiles are doing well. Also, yeah, we're going to check that out too. In fact, we'll do a topic on that. I think that's where we'll do a whole show. We used to cover it quite in depth because we're kind of leading on that topic, right? We'll get onto that too. Might need to check in with James, says Brennan. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so let's quickly check out the top performers in the last week in the top 100. And we see that we've got Aave is actually up 10.2%. Now, don't forget, we've got a fork of Aave over on PulseChain, and that is, I think it's Fiat, right? Fiat there, fork of Aave. That is from the PH Universe team. And I still think it's got like $6 million in it or something. So it's still got a decent amount of capital. That is on PulseChain as well. Check that out if you want to use an Aave fork. And, of course, I think PDI is going to have a modified Aave fork, I think you remember as well, from Better Farms. From Nikki, which we may interview in the future. Bidget token there up 6.9%, and Qcoin at number 3 is up 3.7%. Monero at number 4 up 2.8%, and Wrap Bitcoin there, of course, up 2.3%. So those are our top 5 at the moment in the last week in 100. So there we go. Trending at the moment, or top gainers, I should say, is H2O DAO up 300%. Say what? So that's up 300%. Infinity is up 125%, and Nobody's Sausage is up 38%. I swear, crypto's a crazy place with these names, right? Crazy place. So yeah, I guess you could check out some of these, maybe H2O, and see what's going on there. Up 300% at 44 cents, but don't buy the top, right? And don't forget our lesson from the other day when we did a TA video. RSI, right? Use your RSI and use it wisely. That's all we can say. Trending there. Solana is trending. Aave's trending, and Superverse is trending as well. Yeah, pretty cool. I like the word Superverse because, Superman. But that is where we are. That is the markets today on crypto, which is going to lead us to what? To PulseChain. All right, so PulseChain at the moment, day 740. PulseChain, of course, a fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May. 2023. We're now 740 days later from the launch of PulseChain, which was a couple of days later on the 30th of May, 2023. 740 days later, here we are. So PulseChain is actually green, which is nice to see. So we saw the PulseChain here is at 000423. And this is a very important line, right? Because this is over the resistance that I talked about, right? This is 4,200 is what we're going to get over. And, of course, looks like we're probably close here too, which is very bullish. So, yeah, Brennan, I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Get in the chat there about where the Pulse price is going versus the averages. Be great to see your opinion in chat there. So up 3.12%. And look, I think you better catch the train while you can. I think this is a level. If it's going to hold this and break over 4,200, then it may very well start running away from here to the next level. So definitely check it out. PulseX at the moment is at 0.39, almost at 4,000 on PulseX, up 3.5%. The buy and burns at 1.41 trillion, and we've got 7.14% of all the public supply bought up and burned. Incentive token there up almost 5%, $1.94. And, of course, the supply has been cut to 2,600 ink a day on the farms. And, of course, Rackham Rochelle acknowledged yesterday that he had moved to buy more incentive token. And, of course, he loves his HEX as well. Talking about HEX, HEX is up 1% at 9/10 of a penny. EHEX is at 2,700 penny. And, of course, the combined price, EX and PX, is just under 1.2 cents. Catch me while you can. Honestly, catch me while you can, because this is looking like it's just edging above those resistances and moving into the next range. So, you heard it here on this channel. All right, so we got the gas prices at the moment, 1.9 million beats at 3 cents for a PulseChain swap at the moment. And we've got the validators at the moment is 46,689. So validators are moving up. So people are staking their pulse, 32 million pulse, and that is moving ahead. So good news there. The chain performs better as well. We've got $97.6 million, pretty similar to yesterday, I think it was. So we're still trying to get back over that 100 million. But I think once we get on a run, right, this numbers are going to re-rate real fast. And we're going to see new, fresh capital come in. And also we're going to see, prices go up that are on-chain. And so this will start running away. And of course, we're going to be talking about Signum Minimeal, right? Because that's going to be a big key catalyst for this. Let's get into a bit of news around the Magic Carpet ride. So Fader here from .eth has actually added the Ethereum from the PulseChain PulseX sacrifices. Remember, it was in DAI, got switched over to Ethereum at the price of about average price of $3,775, I think it was. And of course, that is about 171,000 Ethereum. And Richard, held them to the account, said, "Hey, strategic ETH reserve. Why is the PulseChain reserve not on there?" And of course, it has now been added. So this is breaking news you may have seen earlier, but it's pretty much breaking today. The strategic ETH reserve learned two things today. The PulseChain community is loud, loyal, and proud. Number two, PulseChain is very ETH aligned, holding a massive ETH reserve. Welcome to the SER PulseChain. You're now inextricably tied to ETH success. How about that? Strategic ETH reserve there, PulseChain SAC. Now, the numbers are on the low side, so I don't know why it's showing a 166. I haven't actually investigated that, but it's actually 171, right? 171,000 Ethereum. And so, but anyway, it puts us at number two. And let's see if they get a correction. 80,000 views on that, by the way. And of course, that will go out to a lot of people in the Ethereum network that may not even be on PulseChain or may not, like or be neutral, whatever their position is. That's a really good reach, a really good extension of the PulseChain brand. Pretty cool. We got Johnny Chaos in there, loving that. So kind of cool. We got your friend Somi loving that. We got Brizology loving that as well, with some correction maths there. And of course, that's from Gerardo there. We got Gugod from King in the house. We got Dipcatcher as well. The alignment with ETH runs deep too. The original PulseChain community asset Hex was the first major use case on Uniswap and was the first trustless yield-bearing assets. So there we go. From that, we got Eric in here as well. As the old adage says, forget what they say, follow the money. It never lies. That's true. So we've got lots of people there. We've got RH Max in the house. Kind of cool. We've got Corey Costa there. A lot of big people jumping in on this. Cryptographics, who we interviewed the other day with his new Taurus product. Fat Sammy out there from the Pulse Bitcoin community. Man, everybody's been in there today. Prairie Banana from the PDC crew. It is going on and on and on. Man, Extranaut as well. Man, it's a lineup here following in these 80,000 views. Crypto Coffee in the house. Turbo in the house there. Man, this thing just keeps ramping up. Optimus Prime, as I call him, but Kevtron's there. Dirty Crypto out there, obviously giving great updates as well. And so, yeah, it is on. Lots of people jumping there. Maddie Allen in the house as well. We got Bromani as well. Big shout out to Bromania. And, of course, lots of other people in the chat there. We got old Raj in there. And Christina Hype. Big shout out to Christina Hype out there. Lots of people loving this. So, Randy Alasky, man, it just keeps going. The big names are rolling out for this post as PulseChain, the strategic ETH reserve. So, big shout out to all the community members responding there. That is a big deal, right? Big deal. Now, I'm going to post this link in the chat there if you guys want to check it out. And definitely look it up for that one. So, all right, I'll post that link in the chat there. All right, before we move on, we got a couple of comments in here too. So let's go through there. We got NT says hype farms legit. If the hype price doesn't tank too hard, then the farms are mint. I have half my ROI in less than 24 hours. There we go. That's from our day's sponsor today, Hyperion. From Hyperion from Vox, actually. That's Hype Farm. Sorry, it's a different. Yeah, Hype Farm's Hyperion. We got Brendan House as well. Check the PLS ETH ratio ship. I will check that out. And of course, we've got Heartwood Dog. It feels like we are so close to exploding. That's true. I feel that way too. We are holding up well, says Brennan. Nice. So that is the key there. And of course, that is the post there to this ETH reserve, which is a big deal. And of course, look, it's even up to 85,000 views there. How about that? So that is kind of cool. Now I'm going to put out. I'm going to put a quote out on that after the live stream, so I'm going to leave that one for the time being, but come back to that. And of course, let's have a look at the PulseChain results overall. $21.4 million today. So we're up about $1 million from yesterday. We got 240,000 transactions. I think that's up about 28,000, I think, from yesterday. So we're up on both those measures. Now we're going to be looking at the default view, right, on PulseChain. And we got RSI oversold, I should say, is up 61%. Best Everything's pump tires is up 25% there. Surf, which only launched 12 days ago, has been pretty popular. It's up 18%. And of course, the big heavyweight we're going to talk about today is Minimeal, the big European food corporate, is on PulseChain, and it's using PulseChain to value their company in many ways. So it's fantastic news. The buy and burn hasn't even started yet. So 20% of the revenue sales is going to be going on to buy and burn Minimeal token supply. So there's just under 5 billion tokens. To give you a backstory there, there's obviously a lot of holders of those tokens. But yeah, man, I think there's 12,000. I think 12,000. We'll check out the numbers, but about that, 17% up at the moment, and the market cap is climbing. So let's quickly check this out here. And of course, it's been absolutely going through a tier. You can see that chart there, absolutely amazing. In fact, the all-time high price here is 15.6 cents. 15.6 cents. It's just been, look at that chart. That beautiful. And I've been talking about this, so all of you could have got on it. If you did, congratulations. So that is pretty amazing. And of course, I was pretty much the only influencer really talking about it. So there we go. It's up mad gains for everybody. And of course, if you haven't gotten to our strategy club, you know what to do. Links in the video description. Only $35 a month. That is super good value. And of course, you'll get access not only to Minimeal commentary, but also the top 10. And that's been working like a boss too. So get in the chat there as well. Now, we don't just cover PulseChain, we cover multiple chains also. So get in there if you love AI and other things like that. Jump into our strategy club. Links in the video description. Well worth it. Well worth it there. All right, so we got 14.8 cents at the moment, looking like a boss. Now, liquidity, there's obviously a couple of liquidity pools, but actually this has gone up amazingly. 1.4 million now. Volume over $500,000, and we've got the market cap there sitting at $740 million at the moment. In fact, with the all-time high price, it would have gone higher than that. In fact, it got up to $781 million on the old market cap there for Soul Soil token. I keep calling it Soul, but it's Soil token. It hits my soul, but it is the Soil token. And this is from Minimeal, the big food giant out of Europe that's expanding very rapidly with their super health food, right? So pretty cool. It's kind of like the Holy Grail. Low calories, but getting all the nutrients that you need, right? And you have to have 2 bars a day. See, there's little circle bars. You can see it on the picture on the thumbnail. It's pretty amazing. Now they're going global too, so they're going to the United States, around the world. So they're expanding big time, and we're going to benefit on PulseChain, right? Now, yeah, 20%. That hasn't even started. The buy and burn hasn't even started from the corporate stuff. So it's going to be pretty insane to see that happen. So we're up 17% at the moment on 24 hours. Doing pretty well there. And like I say, it is, there's only about 5 billion tokens and, about 12,000 holders already. And that's just going to grow. So we had some big news from Minimeal. I'm going to post the link to this chart if you guys want to check it out. Obviously is one of the big heavyweights, rising stars on PulseChain. And of course, the first token actually potentially to be worth $1 trillion. And we're going to talk about a bit how that might work. So that's kind of cool. So let's go to the alpha drop here. We've got Minimeal, of course. This is them on X. And of course, you can find all that next to the chart there. But we had some pretty cool stuff coming from them. And I just wanted to talk about that. Obviously, on the 20th there, they said, Sol is currently the best performing asset in the entire PulseChain ecosystem. That was on the 20th. Soil token has, I keep saying Sol, don't I? I must feel very connected. I don't know, maybe that's what there's some sort of connection going. We got Soil token has broken through the magical 10-cent mark and has been climbing steadily ever since. This follows the launch of Minimeal a buy. Of course, this is from the official ramp now. Now, as you guys know, Minimeal is bringing 4 on-ramps onto PulseChain. The first one was Banksa. They're doing a few little tweaks with the onboarding process. But we've also got official ramp now has ramped up the last 2 days or so. And so that's been really driving a lot of value onto the Minimeal token. And so that's accessible now. People have been using it, saying it's been a great experience, which is pretty cool, which enables direct access to Soil token via bank transfer, credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and more. So it's been pretty cool. Using SEPA there too, instant transfer fees as low as 2% plus a bit of pounds there. Or is that euro? I think it's a euro thing there, 40 cents. It takes just about 5 minutes to go from your bank to your wallet. game changer. So we've got Coast, right, which does fiat backing, which is fantastic offerings there. We've also got the official on-chain, official PulseChain on-ramp, and now we have ramp now, and of course Banxa once they get their process fine-tuned is huge, right? So pretty exciting. And of course Hex, Pulse, and PulseX are now added to ramp now, so it's even more than what Banxa's got, which is Soil token. They might end up expanding, to be honest. But Ramp now has Hex, you can onboard directly to Hex, Pulse, Hex, and Pulse in the coming days. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So yeah, it's going to probably speed things up on the old Hex prices. So if we're seeing some of this move up on the old Soil token, we could probably see some impact on the Hex, Pulse, and Pulse Hex price too. Once Ramp now comes up, enabling seamless onboarding for the entire ecosystem. A true game changer there. So pretty cool. So the US is not supported at the moment. Most other regions are. And of course, it's been pretty exciting stuff there. And they've reached out to a lot of the influencers, of course, and people are pretty excited about that. Even Pulse Coinless, pretty excited about that. So that is from Sun Minimeal, but they've come out with a bit more stuff. So we're going to go through that a little bit. And then they posted this out 15 hours ago. They posted this out. Why is Soil able to show such a chart, even though the core tokenomics, meaning the link between the token and the Minimeal product revenues through buy and burn, haven't even started yet? And that's a big deal. So this is the context. We've got these two on-ramps, ramp now. We've got Banxa. Once they fine-tune, that's going to be up. And of course, we're also going to have a third on-ramp coming as well before the end of May. It might slip over to June, we'll see how it goes, but that's intended for May. And then we've got another one in Q4. So that's 4 on-ramps that are direct to PulseChain. That's massive, right? That's exactly what we want. I said, I've been saying this for some time. It's one of the areas that we need a lot of things done. Richard Hart reinforced that in his video. And now we're seeing it from the big food corporate Sun Minimeal. And so this is exciting times. And of course, they're going to be looking to grow. And as they grow, it's going to get better and better for PulseChain and, of course, the Soil token, right? This old thing. So we've actually got a big corporate on PulseChain. So a lot of people may not have known that, but that is what we've got here. And, of course, the other big thing, of course, is they're going to have their big buy and burn coming, right, which is related to their sales. So the more they sell, and they're going global, right, the more they sell, they're going to have more buy and burn. It's going to be massive. So that's not even started yet. So it's going to be really fun to see this play out. So that is kind of it. They're also going to have the special wallet as well for their clients on their, I think, on their website. So people are going to be access their wallet, and they won't even have to know anything about crypto. They can just go click a button, and it's going to be done for them. So it's kind of neat. Very, very cool there from Sun Minimeal. Now, this is the big alpha, right? So we'll get into this. It's because Sun already has its own customer base in the 5-digit range, around 70,000 customers. So that's their current customers in Europe, 70,000. The majority of this crypto unfamiliar target group. So just take that very important crypto unfamiliar target group. So let's call them no coiners. Is only now beginning their journey into Sol, right? So it's only the beginning. Thanks to the newly introduced simple fiat on-ramp there through minimeal.com buy, and of course, ramp now, right? That's kind of cool. And of course, we had a look at that. Let's have a quick look at what people are doing to purchase stuff for the Soil token. And we're going to hit the English lab there because obviously in German. And we're going to hit on the down button there. And we can see my profile, orders, buy, and support. So it's kind of cool. You got that. You have to do email, which I haven't done, but this is basically where it all is. If you want to buy and stuff like that, you just got to get your email in. I might do that so we can see that in the future. That is kind of the shop there on Sun Minimeal, right? And if you're not familiar with Sun Minimeal, this is what they do. So it's ramp now, right? That's doing it. But then this is Sun Minimeal, right? See, this food's like a superfood, really low calories. So if you want to lose weight and get all the nutrients you need, this is kind of the food, right? Often you try and lose weight, but you're not getting all the nutrients, and suddenly things go wrong. Your skin goes grey or something. I don't know, whatever. And of course, you need that. So this is showing as well. So kind of cool. It's very, very cool product. Superfood there as well. So definitely, it's going to be really. This is going to go like wildfire. This is kind of the holy grail of food, right? So people are going to be after that, and it's all natural as well. All natural. So kind of neat. So that is kind of pretty bullish. Now they've 70,000 customers, right? And we see, I think there are about 12,000 holders on the token at the moment. Majority of this is crypto unfamiliar. It's now beginning their journey. What a food company has to do with the token, and why Soil holders are focused on long-term goals is explained in detail in the X post and deep dive link below. The goal, of course, is over 5 million Soil holders onboarded by Sun alone, and a triple-digit dollar price in 2030. A triple-digit dollar price. I told you it's like 5 billion tokens, just under that, but 0.9 something. And of course, triple, we're talking about $100. Pretty crazy, right? So this is how it gets us quickly to, the $1 billion. $1 trillion, I should say. And the other thing, of course, is going to be big buy and burn. So, I mean, you could do all sorts of type of modeling, how that profile is going to look, right? But just a simple one, is that it's going to be pretty epic, with 5 billion tokens, pretty massive, right? Um, so it's that's how we get to $1 trillion, and it's going to be pretty epic to see that all play out, right? So we get to $200, $300, obviously, is a big deal there. So yeah, it could be an average holding of 90,000, I think, something like that. And man, we're gonna have some pretty big players coming into this, so it's gonna be pretty exciting. We might do some spreadsheet stuff on that, but that's basically the idea, how we potentially could have $1 trillion protocol on PulseChain. And of course, there's gonna be buy and burn over the next 5 years as corporate sales come in, right? 20% of the corporate sales, and as they go bigger, they get into hundreds of millions and billions of dollars potentially. It could be crazy, right? Absolutely crazy where this all heads. So very, very excited about that. So that's kind of cool. They showed the chart hit 15 cents. That was pretty cool 12 hours ago. You can see all the buys coming in. This is Minimeal buy powered through. So all these buys coming in on the chart. If you're wondering how that's happening, there we go. Thanks very much for Ramp Now and all the customers buying through there, onboarding to PulseChain. They don't even probably care what a PulseChain is, but they're buying. that's a crazy thing. And of course, we had this big up ramp here, right? Up ramps update there as well on their homepage, which you can check out from Banks Official, which is going to be crazy as well. Imagine all these layering on top of each other with different buy channels in the PulseChain and different customer sets as well. It's not just Sunny Minimeal customers, but everybody else out there that learns about it, both on chain and out in the traditional worlds. Pretty cool access there, and people can place I know they probably might have widgets, and soon people will be able to trace it on their websites and stuff like that. Pretty awesome. I think Banks might have stuff like that. So kind of cool. So if you're out there on PulseChain, maybe you can add in some of these direct on ramps as well to your websites and things that probably it's worth checking out. So that is pretty cool. But we also got some cool stuff here from Xscout. And of course, most people don't know this yet. Here's a powerful fact about the new PulseChain on ramp. And of course, that is minimeal.com.by. Petius, the team that made it possible for Ramp Now and Banksa to route directly through PulseX liquidity, no centralized order books, no value leakage to Ethereum, full profit for the PulseChain ecosystem, has enabled special conditions for soil purchases via Sun. As a thank you to the Sun for launching this on-ramp, we've removed all integration fees except for positive slippage, which matters most for giving soil investors the best possible execution. And that's from Petius. A big shout out to the Petius team, absolutely reaching out there. And of course, they do dominate the DEX aggregation and volumes on PulseChain. Ultra fair execution direct through PulseX, fully aligned with the ecosystem first, built on efficiency, designed for transparency, massive respect to Petius and Signum Minimeal for this level of collaboration. Absolutely. This is what the real builders do, a textbook example of smart long-term ecosystem building, the kind that can launch PulseChain to the Mars. And by the way, PulseX and likely PulseX are about to go live for direct purchase by Ramp Now. So if you are, in any of these protocols earning PulseX, you're now going to get another buyer, whole big giant set of buyers coming in. It had not even a coin as it were. It's just a win-win across the board, isn't it? This is why I love this sort of stuff. That Sun actively supports the rollout, shows real leadership and deep commitment to the PulseChain as a whole. On-ramp highlights SEPA, only 2%, of course. Funds arrive to your wallet in 5 minutes. Per transaction limit is 1,000 euros, and that's euros. Euros. And of course, that's going to 10,000 euros in the future. So that's kind of cool. That's going to be even ramping this up even more. So if you thought this was good already, and you got people with $1,000 limits, I guess they have to do several $1,000 limits. Imagine starting to get $10,000 buys, right? It's quickly going to start ramping up pretty quick, right? You guys can do the math on that one, I'm sure. It's pretty exciting. All right, so that's kind of where we are on that. So let's keep going because this is so bullish, and we've got to cover it in full, right? Because this is such a big deal. Save this, share it, use it. The ecosystem just got a high-speed on-ramp. PulseChain access to as easy as online shopping. No one gateway for newcomers and pros alike. Minimeal.com.by. So I'm going to post that too. And I'll flick that out after the live stream, but because I want to do a bit of a write up there. But that is a great write up, so I'm going to post that in the chat there if you guys want to check it out. And of course, share that around for people to onboard a PulseChain without too much work. That's probably a great way of doing it, right? All right, so that is kind of cool. Let's move on, and of course, we're going to get into the next section, which is continuing on with the show. And of course, there we got Missile, one of the OG web chefs there, sitting at number 6. up 11%. Secret Conspiracy is also up 9%. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. Shh. Don't tell. We got Time Dividend there from Internet Money and KG. Over 75,000 downloads. That is amazing. So almost up 8% there. And that's, going to be pretty good too, right? Because getting a lot of swap volume. It's going up as the more wallet holders there. So getting time and you got more volume going through. Should, especially in the bull market, should be a real cash cow. Die Hard there, 7% up there as well on the back of PDI. We've got Cardano Pump Tires up 6% there. Troper from James Maria up 5%. Solid X from Fire Whale, the big whale out there, up 5% there. Big shout out to him as well. And we've got Incentive Token there from Richard Hart, up 5%. So those are kind of where we are, over 5% at the moment. We've got a few others there, as you can see in the list, all green. So we've got a few of them all slightly green up at the moment on this today. So that's kind of where we are on the charts. And of course, very exciting indeed. And that's going to lead us into Heart with Dog. Heart with Dog. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into that next. Man, that is loud. It's loud. That is loud, but it's awesome. It's a great way of introducing the next chapter here. Now, you guys know we broke the news yesterday, or broke the internet. Is that the right to say? Broke PulseChain. And of course, we covered the highlights here of chapter 10 in the anime viral series here from Heart with Dog, right? And so it was pretty cool. And I did a little write-up after the live stream and pushed it out, right? So 5-time world champion Conor McGregor hits PulseChain in big-time anime fight showcasing showcase versus Heart with Dog fighter Hog, right? So Hog is the character in the anime series. And of course, he suddenly got to the point where in chapter 10, he was fighting Conor McGregor, a pretty tall order, as you guys can understand. Who will win the bet? Chapter 10, Whiskey Business going viral. Hog enters the octagon with the fierce Jarasands by his side, eyeing one goal. Top of the cocky but dangerous Irish champ and win a sit down with Dana White. But early in the fight, it's not looking so good for Hog. Damn, ouch. That's got to hurt. And of course, you can see some of the animation from the video. This is from a video, right? And you got Conor McGregor there smashing Hog there. It's pretty violent. So I hope I should have probably said, violence, whatever. But Conor McGregor is throwing down a ferocious beatdown on fighter Hog. It's absolutely brutal, as we say. Can you even stomach the ability to keep watching? Meanwhile, Hog fighter supporters in the crowd, like PulseChain influencer Sami, he loves this MMA, and Pikachu, his pet Pikachu there. And is it pet? I don't know. We got and celebrity Russell Crowe. I didn't even know Sami knew Russell Crowe, but they're hanging out together at the fight there. So he's hooked up. He's hooked up, as it were, getting into a massive bust up after a beer bottle is thrown at them. OMG, things are getting out of control. So not only have you got this fight going on, but now you've got this fight amongst all the supporters as well, including Sami and Pikachu and the flipping Russell Crowe. It is a crazy, crazy time there, and the fight just gets worse. So this is pretty crazy anime. You can watch the full anime chapter, of course, 10 to find out who wins, and I posted the link to that. And of course, will Hog rise as the true hero or fall under the bright lights? What's at stake? It's a goddamn fight for PulseChain glory, for goodness sake. So that's what's out there. Check out Hog's full backstory, chapter 1 to chapter 9, to get up to speed and learn all about Hog's journey with all the twists and turns. It's a pretty epic. And of course, I did show you a bit of a clip on there. And of course, you can get a lot more if you love anime and stories. You can get more action there from the team at Heart with Dog. And of course, I did post a little clip here, which is pretty cool. So this is pretty much the beginning of the fight. You can see Hog. He's the main character in this whole anime series. This is chapter 10 in his life. And man, boy, have twists and turns. I mean, it's seriously twists and turns on this one. And of course, here is the champ coming into fight. Conor McGregor. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And then in comes Conor McGregor, and all the glory. It's pretty crazy stuff. I love it. That's pretty epic. He comes in there, and of course, there he goes. He goes. Now that's exactly the sort of stuff he says. Who the fuck is this guy? In his Irish accent, which is pretty crazy. And then of course everyone laughs, right? Everyone laughs. So it's awesome. We can't just leave this posting without the opening fighting scene. So you can definitely check it out. Now we did cover it, the chapter 10. We showed little clips of the fight yesterday, so you can check that out. but we can also go to Dog with Hat to the website, right? So pretty awesome. I'm going to post this link. You definitely share it around and leave any comments to this link for that one because it helps with the algorithms too. So that is Heart with Dog, and you can watch that. So check that out. We're also going to paste the website here and check this out because you've got the whole video series here, chapter 1 to 9, which I didn't cover yesterday in any detail. So definitely check that out too. And then linked Heart with Dog. And of course, this is going viral on PulseChain with the anime story. And a big shout out to that community doing a great job there with Heart with Dog. And you can join the Telegram and get involved with the community if you love comics and anime and a game. Of course, you can check that out. Now, it's got some pretty cool stories here. Now, one of the key things about this is that it's got a lot of influencers in it, PulseChain influencers. They use a lot of celebrities, and I think they're going to do some pretty cool things in the future. So it's definitely, some of your popular influencers are out there. Somi, SJ, many others out there. I think we've got A-Bit out there as well. A-Bit Hex. There's lots of them here. Moon King. There's lots of them in the picture there. Now, the series is called The Pulse of the Fallen. So that's what the whole series is called. And there's 1 to 10 chapters. You can start reading them, of course, or you can watch the animated videos. Now, as you can see here, there's the first chapter is called Genesis. And look, it's going to take you off guard. You watch the first chapter, you go, whoa. You go, whoa. There are lots of twists and turns in the story of Hog, the main character. Hog is the main character in the middle there, you can see. And of course, it's got twists and turns. Now, we've got, chapter 2, A Shocking New Friend. Chapter 3, The Inverse Oracle. Chapter 4, Hog versus Gary. Chapter 5, Durkee Thanksgiving. Chapter 6, The Prize That Chose You. Chapter 7, Big Russell in Little Chinatown. And then chapter 8, Semen Retention. And then chapter 9, then the Non-Fungible UN Union. So those are chapter 1 to 9. But of course, chapter 10 is now out. It's the one versus Colin McGregor. And it's pretty exciting. So definitely check this out. I know a lot of people love anime and comics and things like that. And of course, it's both animated and you can read it as well. Now, they've got other tools as well, like the meme editor. So you can definitely check out that. So you can play around with that as well. They also got face swap coming soon. It's going to be a bit of fun. So they've got lots of cool little things on the site that entertain. And they've got a cool roadmap as well as tokenomics. They've got tokenomics. And then they got the roadmap. So that's the tokens there. You can buy the Hog token on market and so on. So kind of cool. They got the roadmap, pre-launch, launch, post-launch, all the excitement and the future vision. You can check out all that too, which is pretty cool on the website. So yeah, a lot of fun, and definitely join up their X or Twitter handle and their Telegram community to learn more. So if you love comics and that, get into that. So big shout out to the team. Heart with Dog, looking pretty cool. And you guys, we've been looking for stuff to talk about around artwork. You guys know that I was pretty much the only influencer talking about NFTs. Covered all the NFT markets, a lot of the NFT collections, and of course we're going to be probably doing a bit more of that. We're just going to try and hunt down some really good ones. So if you do have any good projects in the PulseChain space that have been sustainable and recently ticking away there, let us know. Hit us up in Telegram in the Kryptonite Show or on Discord, something like that, or on X, and let us know if you've got some good ones you want us to cover, because we're keen to cover more of the artists and projects like that on PulseChain. It really enriches the whole community. So definitely worth checking out there. So big shout out to Heart with Dog. We love it. And that is exactly sort of thing that can go viral and is going viral here. So kind of cool. So that is from them. Now, the other big thing, of course, is our sponsor today is Vox. Vox Farms and, of course, or Vox Finance, as they call it. And, of course, the new Hyperion Pro. And they've been our sponsor today for the show. So a big shout out to them. And, of course, they've just released this, and I love it. So Hyperion, their watcher from the on high is sort of one of the interpretations. The other one is He Who Strides Above from Hyperion. And, of course, they've got how it works there. They've got all that in the house there as well, the buy and sell taxes with no fees on transfers. They got the yield mechanics, right? Yield fees are periodically swapped for PulseX by the PulseX V2 with the following allocation. So they've got all that breakdown. They've also got, obviously, the token balance that you can have if you connect your wallet up. This is an established farm, obviously, being one of the most popular farms on PulseChain in recent months. So definitely check it out there. And then continually innovating, right? Continually innovating there. Now, they've got the Hype token, which has been launched with this farm. And, of course, you can pair that Hype token up with DAI, with PulseX, with Pulse, with PulseX incentive. And, of course, you can get pretty high yields, 14,000% at the moment. As well. The other one, of course, they've got non-hype token ones as well. They've got Pulse DAI, PulseX Pulse. So if you want the lower risk farms, you can get into that. And the APRs obviously are adjusted downward, but still pretty amazing, and 43% there at the moment. Cool. So that's kind of the farms there. Check out all the yields. And of course, what I was going to say here about the price. Price currently $2.36. And what else there? Emission rate 0.1 per second. Total supply 17,300 tokens so far in hype tokens. And the burn 239 tokens been burned so far. So you can check that all out at the moment. And you can see the size of liquidity pools as well, relatively speaking, and they're at the bottom of those tabs. Like I say, if you want to participate, you do have to go into the PulseX V2 pools, provide liquidity for those particular pairs that you're going to go into for particular farms. So if you're going to the Hype Die farm, you have to put that into the V2 pool. You'll get LP tokens in your wallet that show your liquidity that you provided. And then they will pop up here and after you've connected the wallet, and then you can improve and stake those, and then you'll start earning hype rewards straight away. Now, different farms have entry fees. So this one here is a 1% entry fee. Just take that into account. Pulse Hype has no entry fee, so it's zero. So just take into account the entry fee as well. So that's kind of it on that moment. Total TVL, $133,000. So a special thanks to Hyperion Protocol from Vox, and of course Hype Token for sponsoring today's video. So big shout out to that. Now the homepage, you can see for Vox there as well, and you can run through their products. The farm, of course, for the Vox farm, and of course, they got a cool feature here called Bubbles, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have seen this one before. We've got the bubbles there, and you can play around with these tokens and move them around. Loan token and XUSD, you can move them around. So kind of cool little feature there. And token ranks as well. So they've got a lot of information on the site as well for Vox, and Hyperion is the latest farm protocol here as well. So kind of check that out. All right. That is pretty cool. And I think we got the links at the top. I think we posted it up there. So let me see. We're going to scroll down there a little bit. We've got Love.io. Yeah, sponsor farm. That is pretty much there. So check that out. That is Vox.finance, our sponsor today. So big shout out to the team. Keep up the great work, innovating at the frontier of PulseChain. All right, so that is pretty much it. And what's the chart? That is the chart at the moment, $2.27. $2.27, so you're getting a pretty good bargain. It's down on the chart at the moment, so just take note of that. But the yield is still looking pretty attractive. All right, let's jump over to the chat here and see who else has jumped in. Who else has jumped in here? Let me see. No more comments here. Oh, actually, you want me to look at, I think you wanted me to look at Pulse ETH ratio. So let me see if I can pull that up too. We'll try and do that first. How we're doing on time, an hour and 10 minutes. We're doing pretty well. Now, I've got a second live stream today, as you guys know, Love.io. And so you don't want to miss that out. That's going to be huge. One of the big protocols on PulseChain. So we're doing some heavyweights lately, some absolute heavyweights. Love.io happens to be up 2% today in price as well. But let me pick out this PulseChain chart here. I'm not even sure I have it. Pulse versus ETH ratio. I'm not even sure I've got that one, but let's have a look, see if I can find it. And let's see if I can get an ETH chart. We're doing it live. Do it live. I should get that little editor. Do it live. Probably annoy the heck out of myself. Do it live. Let's see. Yeah, I can't even see one of those. So Pulse ETH ratio. Yeah, I don't even have that on the chart. I'll have to try and find it and set that up. All right, so that's kind of where we are at the moment. I'm going to do the Pulse Die. How about that? We'll do Pulse Die because we've got that chart already set up. All right, let's go in to the chart. Should we do the big chart? I don't even know. We don't want to go into the big video yet, but let's go.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat.
Can you guys actually hear me? I don't know if you heard any of that. Can you hear any of what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I accidentally left. Yeah, I left myself off the screen, so I apologize for that. So I did a fantastic commentary on this chat. I don't know if you guys saw, but it was really crazy there. What's that little picture there? I don't know, but we got it. All right, so let's get back into it, and let's do this over again. Let's go back to the weekly here. I apologize for that. What else there? It makes sense if you can lip read. Yeah. All right, so here we go. We got at the bottom base. I said we're come up the bottom at quadruple 1700, and we've got we were down at the RSI almost oversold, and we bounced off that back to the 50, and we've come up to 4240, which is a key mark we wanted to hit to the other day, right? And above us is the weekly 50 day, and that's at 4760, right? So if we can 4750, let's say. So we get over that, that's hyper bullish, I think. So let's see how we get on. Now, the next one, of course, is the daily, which is probably important to show us where we're heading on the weekly. And that is obviously we have had a higher low and a higher high, and we're moving up. And also, we're in a death cross, right? So if we can get this yellow line here, the 50-day moving up above the 200-day, which we have just touched, right? We've just touched it today. And, of course, we closed there. It's kind of bullish. So if we get another day and close across there, very, very bullish here, and we may just break up quite strongly, I think, from here. And of course, if we get that if we do that, the 50 days is going to come up real faster, and we're going to get a golden cross for the sake on the daily. That could be pretty cool. And I think this time it's going to be quite sustained, given all the market news we're expecting around all these trade deals and big tax bill and things like that, and maybe even some geopolitical settlements. So it could be cool. So that is pretty hyper there. So things are looking really good for the old Pulse. And here we are on 66 on the RSI, holding up pretty nicely there, but we've got plenty of room. We're only at about 52 on the weekly. So if we break this mark, very bullish. And of course, you guys saw this is where we had a lot of support when we were up higher. And so if we can break this, also bullish, and of course, get over 4,700 is the mark on the weekly, and that's game on, right? So very, very exciting about where we might head here with the old PulseChain. Not bad. Now we're going to quickly look at PulseX as well, because we're bringing up the question here. So let me go out of full screen and go back to the watch list here. Going to go to the heart tokens, and we're going to pick up PulseX first of all, and I think we'll pick up incentive token as well. We haven't actually done this for a while, and we'll pick up a Hex as well over here. We've got a few minutes, right? I think, 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and follow. If you're on YouTube, we're streaming on Kryptonite Show, PulseChain Crypto, and PulseChain X. So if you want to go smash the subscribe button right now, that'd be really helpful. Smash the like button and hit the bell for future videos. We're doing constant. We've got the biggerlove.io interview in about 6 hours' time. You don't want to miss that. That's less than 6 hours. And of course, with Anders there, huge. So another big player on PulseChain. And if you also want to get into hit us up on X. Just hit the follow button on X and share that around on X as well. That'd be really, really great. Nice recovery, says Brennan. Yeah, nice recovery indeed. All right, so let's go over to the PulseX price. This is on the weekly as well. And we don't have an RSI in here, but so we'll add that in. But what we're really looking at is less the price and more the ratio to PulseChain. So here we are, 56 on the RSI, a bit hotter than Pulse. But we're having a really nice rally in here. Look at that. We got higher low here at 2,000 almost on the weekly, and now we're up at almost 4,000. So that's a 2x there, right there. Pretty awesome. So people have been making money on PulseX. It is up 183% or so. So pretty 2.8x there inside 50 days. So there's money to be made, right? And we're probably getting warmed up now. On the daily, of course, we've got the RSIs looking pretty similar to Pulse, and we're slowly grinding up there too. We have kind of less, this was previous resistance around here. We're kind of hitting that now. And of course, the next level is probably somewhere between 5,000, 5,200, right? That's kind of the next zone. And of course, let's have a look at the ratio to Pulse, which is what we really wanted to look at there. And look at that chart. Beautiful, right? That is on log chart, and look at that. It is working like a boss. Look at that charm there. The uptrend. So the ratio to Pulse, PulseX to Pulse is now at 0.94. We have been to 1-to-1, right? So back here, we were 1-to-1. In fact, let's put a little line in there, line in the sand at 1-to-1. So that's a 1-to-1 ratio to Pulse, and we're not far away from that. Look, we're not far away at all. So only a few percentage points. We'll get there no time. 6.77. Now remember, the burn is sitting at about 7.14%. 1.4 trillion PulseX has been bought up and burned, and of course we've got thinner liquidity pools, so things could really start running away quite nicely here. Incentive tokens also, inflation's been cut down to 2,600 a day, 0.03 ink per second. It's crazy times. Richard Hart's back, Magic Carpet Ride, and the PulseChain reserve has now been registered as a big reserve. So the games are on, and wider and wider adoption. We've got our whales, Rack and Michelle, Firewell doing great things. We've got the community doing great things, developers doing great things, influencers are all coming back. Jim Rat Crypto, Gerardo. Gerardo's back doing another TA chart again, so big shout out to him. It's game on. It's game on, guys. You guys got to get pretty excited, that's for sure. It's going to be pretty fun. What else? The Hut Dog in there with the salute. Big shout out there. Go viral. Gotta love that story, man. You got a lot of good feedback, Hut on the Conor McGregor. There was a lot of good feedback, and it's not finished yet. That is, if you haven't checked it out, it is a fantastic episode. If you can handle PulseChain below SAC, you can handle the violence in PulseChain and Hex. We are built different. That's true. That's true. Look, we've had how many Black Swan events? I don't know, 20, 30 Black Swan events and Grey Swan events. So yeah, it is game on there. So and I love the fight culture, right? If you can defeat Conor McGregor, then you're truly going to be a champion. Now, that's looking pretty good in the old ratio. The PulseX looking pretty strong. So let's have a quick look at some of the other ones. The Ink token. Now, obviously, Rack and Michelle's been out there buying the old Ink as well, and we've been, moving up as well. Higher lows there, $1.11. We did get down to 92 cents, and now we're at $1.94. How quickly has that changed, right? Amazing. And of course, this last week we were up at $2.14. So Ink token really, really doing pretty well there. Not sure what I've got on there. I think that's the Ink token inflation. But that's kind of where we are. I haven't been on this chart for a while. I don't know what that is. But we got the price there rooming up on the daily. Let's have a look at the RSI as well. Here as well. We're just doing a bit of extra time here. I got to remember I got a second live stream later. We got the RSI currently at 63. And I think on the weekly, what was that on the weekly? Yeah, 50, even better than Pulse and PulseX. So a lot more potential upside here, explosive there. And of course, you got the big whale as well. Now, the ratio to Pulse is at 45,937 on the weekly. We get back to the previous range. We're almost back there. We're at the support line, getting back into the 55K range, probably pretty doable. And then game on from there, right? I don't know if you guys remember the first few weeks of PulseChain, but man, it got up to insane levels. 317,000 pulse per one Ink token back in the day. Obviously, we got 55 million tokens out now, but man, that was pretty crazy. The ratio is definitely going to blow up to the upside. We're currently at prices currently at $1.94. People are talking about $100, $1,000 Ink token, and towards the top of the bull market, let's say. But we're going to get some pretty strong re-rates with this, I'm sure. Obviously, as Pulse goes up and then the ratio keeps climbing against Pulse, then that's definitely doable. And of course, we may get maybe we get the Master Chef contract gets handed over to the people. Power to the people, yeah. We get the old DAO set up, and Ink token is maybe the DAO token. It's a really bullish thing. And we get single-sided staking, actually, third-party protocols, more third-party protocols, maybe some big ones there using PulseX and Ink. It all gets game on pretty quickly. So not bad. And you can see we're up 4 or 5% today on these. Looks like they're starting to rise on all time frames. Let's see where we can go. We're hitting some pretty key levels today, just as we speak. And so if we break up the next 24 hours, that's game on, right? It's game on. Now, Hex, good old P Hex here. We're going to wrap up with this. This is our final topic. We're at 9/10 of a at the moment, looking pretty strong. As you guys know, this is going to run away as well. Rack and Michelle said he's never giving up on his PulseX there. In fact, we might go see him quickly. Shall we go have a look at Rackham? And let's see. He's working on so much stuff with him and his team. So a big shout out to Ben out there too. Ben's doing a great job for Rack and Michelle with the old Rackham news. If you guys haven't seen that out, definitely check that out on there. But 13 hours ago, Rackham says, don't even talk to me about my Hex until it hits $10 on both networks. That's EX and PX. I'll be here long after you're gone. How about that? Woo-hoo-hoo! I got to repost that because that's some pretty big alpha there. And now that is HODL. Let me make sure HODL there. And that is HODL. And Now that is huddle talk. Now that is huddle. I don't know. We'll just get huddle there. We'll put a little fire, flame at the end. Why not? Let's do a bit of flames. I love the old fire emoji. I don't know why. It's just my favorite. It's got so bright. I think so. It's so bright. So that's kind of cool. Now that is huddle. All right. But bam. All right. So that's kind of cool on that one. And I'm going to give myself a like. So that's what we do all day. We do all day. All right. So that's kind of cool. I want to get back to the hex chart here and get on point. So we had this little X cross, right? So we're obviously looking to get a golden cross going on with our moving averages here on hex. So I got a 50-day in yellow and a 200-day in orange. And so, yeah, 200-day is now at 1 cent. And once we really cross over that, it's really going to be game on. We've got higher lows, higher highs, getting a golden cross, plenty of room in the RSI. And, of course, if we look at the weekly, we got plenty of room right down below 50. It's the best of them all. Hex is the best RSI of them all. Ink token, then PulseX, Ink, Pulse, then PulseX in that order. So, don't fade the hex. Don't fade the hex, my bro. And, of course, we had the inflation cut there too as well, right? 7.6 hex per T-share down to about 0.6. Game on, right? Game on there. And only so many people can hold 1 million hex as well. Some good little moon math around there. So bring it on. And then on eHex, we've got HexFlex coming out as well. Second layer protocol from Dipcatcher, which is going to add to value over there on the ETH chain. Also, BankX, I think, is down to about 180 million hex, something like that. They've been selling, I think, about 10 million hex a month, is it? Something like that. So yeah, we're getting there. All right, I think they start off with 700 million. I think they're down to about 180 million now. So it's kind of the end of it. So kind of cool. Feel bullish, guys. It's looking bullish. What else? Let's see here. We got Brennan says, what's Volkanovski would be harder to fight than Connor, lol, says Brennan. Hogmoat likely to do barbecue with Volk, says Heartwood Dog. Hogmoat likely to do barbecue with Volk. That'd be maybe a good series coming up. We will invite Rob Whitaker as well for a bunning snag, says Brennan. All right. That's a great place to finish. Hey, look, we've got a good crowd watching, about 175 of you awesome people. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button on YouTube, share the channel around, smash the bell for future videos on X. Of course, don't forget to repost. That really does help a lot. In fact, not just my channel, but for all the influencers in PulseChain, if you're pretty bullish. Now, obviously, I'm a multi-chain coverage as well, just like many others out there, like Cryptographics and Brandon and many others out there that do multiple chains. We're going to be obviously trying to attract new people to PulseChain and, of course, tell you more about the cool projects on other chains as well. After all, we are in crypto and it's a fun place to be and there's lots of cool things happening. So, yeah, we're going to be probably covering Titanx more in the future on Ethereum, on Base Chain. We're going to be covering stuff on Sonic. We're going to be covering stuff on Solana, things like that. There will be a lot of different coverages going on. Bitcoin Network, of course. We're probably going to do some coverage of that too because you guys, there's a lot of cool opportunities around. But of course, PulseChain, we are mainly on this chain, and we have PulseChain's going to do some amazing things this bull market. So some big news: Sun Minimeal, potentially the first $1 trillion token project on PulseChain. We've got obviously big news around the Magic Cup ride, the crypto reserve, 171,000 ETH, now number 2 spot in the strategic reserve. That's pretty awesome, ahead of the US government and Coinbase as well. So we're doing pretty well. And I think only just behind the ETH Foundation, if I remember rightly. So that's kind of good. And some pretty awesome stuff out there in the community. Heartwood Dog pushing the anime scene on PulseChain. We're going to hear more about that too this week. We've obviously also got our big sponsor today, Big Vox and Hyperion. A big shout out to that team. And a big shout out to MBS and, of course, the Crypto Night crew, because there's more than just 2. There's a whole team of us, and we're doing a lot of stuff to try and ramp up PulseChain. We're playing our part, and I know many of you are playing your part as well. And ahead, we got the bull market is ahead of us. It's going to be pretty awesome stuff. So game on, as we say, game on. All right, so I think we're going to lead there, and I'll catch you later today. We're going to have the Love.io. It was one of the big projects on PulseChain with Anders, so we're going to check that out later on today. That's only in 6.5 hours, 5.5 hours time away, so you don't want to miss that. There's a pretty big interview. He's going to be talking a lot about Love.io, but also about promotions and stuff like that. So if you're really keen on that, that's going to be some really cool topics there as well. I'm going to be learning a lot there, right? I'm going to be learning a lot about that protocol. Love.io interview coming up, and of course it's already on YouTube, but it's also going to be posted on X as well. So I'll look forward to joining you in about 5.5 hours time for that. Man, we're doing so much stuff. So the show hasn't finished. Now, I'm going to give you a little clues. We will be expanding our offerings. I told you guys we've got a big roadmap. And of course, we're not slowing down. We are speeding up. The bull market is ahead, and it's very, very close indeed. Each week ahead of us I think it's going to create more value for crypto and PulseChain. And we're going to be coming out with a Telegram space and an X space, interviewing and talking about projects. So if you want to hear about some of the best projects in town on PulseChain, we're going to have a space for there. Everyone's free to invite. If you're a team, you want to get into that, you hit MVS or myself up. That's going to be coming up too. And we're just stepping up step by step to the next thing that we have on our roadmap. So you definitely want to get on that. Everyone's free to join and get informed from all these cool teams. So if your team, hit us up, MVS Crypt or myself, and we get you on that list for the next one coming up. And I'll give you the dates on that probably tomorrow. So it's going to be held on a Wednesday. So every week, and we're going to be switching from Telegram to X is probably the way we're going to go there. So it's going to be good for both platforms. Very exciting new offering coming up there for the community and the teams to meet each other and learn about the next best thing, right? The next best thing, the rising stars of PulseChain. And we may occasionally have some non-PulseChain stuff as well. So it's going to be worth catching up on that. All right. It's a lot of fun, man. PulseChain's going to be an absolute riot. If you guys were there in 2021 for Hex, you know how good that was. PulseChain's going to have its season like that too. And we're all here at the right time, right place. And I just cannot stop talking about PulseChain. It's going to be so much fun. All right, peace, buddy. Take care. And best way to say it there. Peace out there from Brennan as well. Now we're going to jump over to this most bullish video. I'm going to play this quite often because I think it just sets the tone of where we are in the cycle. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's enjoy this video on the way out. And peace out. I think peace out is it what we say. Peace out. Kind of cool. All right, let me jump over to the video, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing each cycle. It's not to do with a halving cycle. Nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase one of the banana zone, banana number one, the corrective zone. Banana number two comes, another correction, banana number three. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats. Don't fuck this up. Don't lose control of your tokens. Don't use leverage. Don't get your wallet hacked. Just sit with it. Be careful. Don't get FOMO. Do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder because the next one that happens, we'll have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, "Is it over?" And you'll definitely be sure it's over. And everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.